Good morning. Big Joe here, along with Jeff Rickard from the Morning Show. And we just wanted to make sure that you know to rise and shine with our new FM frequencies, only on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. We're already moved in. Come on over and have a listen.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
You know what that means, Joe?
Chubby's on the line.
Oh, man. We're all excited about a big win, and the first thing Joe does is welcome you in improperly, Jeff. How about that?
Yeah, you're too skinny to call Chubby anymore.
Exactly. I was going to say, more like model.
You know, I was remiss yesterday. Jeff Saturday brought to you on the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe by More Restoration, the experts in fire, environmental, and water damage restoration. I didn't have my phone with me because I walked all the way down the hallway to go to the men's room during a timeout yesterday, and I looked up there and I saw a big old picture, a big old poster-sized picture of number 63, and I meant to take a picture of your picture and send it to you, but then I got distracted by Eric Ebron, so sorry about that, big guy.
The catch you made in the end zone was more important than my picture. I'm devastated.
Next week, maybe. Hey, first thing I got to get out of the way, though. Tell me you didn't jump up out of your seat when you saw Quentin Nelson in the backfield yesterday.
Loved it, baby. I was all kinds of fired up. Feed the big boy. Feed him. Let him ride, man. Hand that thing to him. Don't be afraid. Listen, athletes in space, it's what we do. We're accustomed to it. Think about the sheer panic of him thinking if they hand him the ball. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, there's no fourth down. You will not convert from now on. You know, it's going to be it's a 5-yard play every time.
That's exactly right. But, hey, just follow him, dude. Go get behind that dude. As angry as he's running and as mad as he is, dude, as he's putting his head down, ain't nobody want to get in front of that freight train. That's for
true.
Sure.
Hey, talk about that team effort. You know, guys like Zach Pascal coming up, Pierre Desir, answering the bell hurt. Ebron comes up with a huge catch in this one. Jabal Sheard, and that defensive line, for the most part, does a really good job. These kind of games and the entire team effort, they're really starting to get galvanized, aren't they?
There's no doubt. I mean, I think I was the thing I was probably most appreciative is that's the first thing Frank talks about. Is that it's a total team win. In all three phases, how each group, like you said, showed up and did their part, and whatever the moment was during the game, for whatever reason, that phase seemed to take care of their business. And to your point about being galvanized and this team believes, and we talked about this at the beginning of the season. This team believes in each other. They believe in their abilities. They know it may not be what everybody else had, the expectations of what everybody else thought about them as players or as a team, but they are more than capable. And you're seeing, listen, think about this from the offensive side. They ran it, almost 26 times, I think, or 25 times, and throw it 40. The balance of that and beating a team like the Texans, the way that we beat them, you're saying, hey, I trust my quarterback, but we're still not just going to abandon everything. We're going to stay within phase. We're going to take care of the way that we play football defensively. They put the defense out there, hey, we got to make a stop. And here comes a man that makes an incredible interception to finish the thing out. But as you're looking at, there's just trust everywhere. There's trust that each group will get their job done when they got to get it done. And to your point, that's when guys start to feel like, you're almost invincible. Hey, whichever side needs to step up, they're going to do it. And I love the heart of the team. You can see everybody's fired up for each guy when they make plays, and it's just one of those things where you can tell it's catching on. It's becoming infectious for them as a football team.
What do you see, Jeff, when you watch Jacoby Brissett play quarterback the way he did yesterday? What jumps out to you?
I think the poise that he plays with, you never see him. He never seems to be rattled. He never seems even in the pocket. When things seem to be maybe breaking down, or he has to make body movements and get in different places. It's never frenetic. It's never you feel like, oh man, he doesn't have it in his head of where he wants to go deliver the ball, or if I got to pull it down and go run it, what am I going to do with it? And then he trusts his guys to put it up and give them a chance to make the play. And I think from my perspective, when you're talking about a guy like Jacoby who, had been a backup before this year, even when you saw him come in before, there's something about him with that poise and that calmness. And I will say this, I heard a guy say this a few weeks ago, and it's so true. I don't care what level of football you're in. A guy who's calm and can figure it out with his brain, doesn't matter how strong the arm is, how good, if he can put the ball where it's supposed to be played and understand where it should go conceptually, you can build on that. And I'm telling you, man, you're watching Brissett and everybody, kind of where the receivers are. These guys, they are fine-tuned. Frank does a great job of play calling, but, man, they're fine-tuned in if there is a small breakdown, where to go with the ball and where to get open. I mean, think about the third downs. It blew me away. At one point, they were like 8 for 8 on third down passing, and all of them were first down. I mean, they had the crossing routes and I'm just thinking, it's just calm. There's no panic in this. He's delivering the ball, letting this guy go make a play with his legs. He's not trying to do too much. I love that about a quarterback.
With knowing that mindset and whatnot, is this something that we can expect then? A bunch of one-score games, just making the right play at the end, doing enough to just win the game?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think Houston's a very good football team, and I think you're playing a quarterback who is special in his own right on the other side of the ball. So, when you get into, for lack of a better term, a team that can be a track meet with you, with Hop, I mean, that game could be a track meet. So you want to kind of take that thing and try to control it. I mean, you think about the drive in the third quarter, and it was I forget how long the drive was, 7 minutes or something like that. But whatever that drive to me said so much about what the Colts as a football team should be, and that it is, Joe. It's just like we said, you may not beat them by 14, but you'll have a bunch of 7 to 10 point wins because you're just going to be consistent, right? It's just going to be a consistent style of ball. It's not going to be, hey, we're going to drop back and try to hit them deep over and over. But I think they're comfortable in those games. Like I said, I don't think you see anybody on the Colts staff or players who are concerned with tight ball games. They feel good about it. And listen, when you're playing playoff football, that's what they're going to be. I don't care who you are. Like, you got to win the three-pointers. I mean, that was – I played on a team. We beat people by 25 during the season, but you got to learn how to play those tight football games and play under that pressure. And they're doing it, week by week and building slow and steady in this thing.
Jeff Saturday brought to you on the Fan by the More Restoration, the experts in fire, environmental, and water damage restoration. You want to call them if you have any problems there, and they will fix you up. And speaking of fixing up, man, let's go back to that 92-yard drive beginning of the game. What does that do for an offense for the rest of the game when you just make that happen, as you were alluding to a moment ago? I mean, that's impressive, man. That's got to stick with you for a while.
Oh, man, listen, you come off the sideline and everybody, the typical say, all day, baby, we're going to do this all day, as you're reaching for an O2 tank going,
all day.
Everybody's screaming, all day, we're going to do this all day. And then you realize, we're not going to do this all day. But it's an empowering feeling, right? You've imposed your will. You feel like you're dominating. You're taking care of business. And it does give you a ton of you realize it's like body blows, it's in boxing, man. You're taking something out of that team for the fourth quarter, for late in the game. And so you do. I mean, Joe knows it, man. It is such a tip, especially offensive linemen. We're coming over there. We're going to dominate these boys all day. We're all talking, and then we're trying to breathe. Somebody give me some Gatorade. Somebody help me out. That's really the way it works on the sideline.
Hey, give a little love to this defense, but what are we seeing specifically? The last two games, I'm just wondering, it seemed like a little bit more, obviously a lot more man when we played against Kansas City, but it seems to be even a more aggressive zone. Is this out of necessity because you were playing two of the top offenses in the league, and it's just like, hey, we got to do something different here? Absolutely. I mean, I think your competition. You understand where you have to be, and to your point, listen, Houston playing a bunch of man yesterday. I mean, when you face a team where you feel like ultimately they can run and control the clock and they can dink and dunk you all day long, you got to switch things up. And I think there, when you saw Shear yesterday, I mean, getting pressure on the QB, down the red zone, pushing them back, those kind of –
it's going to require efforts like that, especially up front when you're asking a guy, hey, you got to win your one-on-one matchup. Now we're going to take the double team off of you, but that means you got to win. And ultimately, when it comes down to those type of games, it really is a bunch of one-on-one battles. Is who's going to win this battle, and can we consistently count on you to win that battle? It can't be I win one, lose three. It's got to be one of those. We can live with a stalemate, but you got to win them. And I think when you play better football teams, that ultimately is what it comes down to. And I think as you saw it yesterday, and I'm not sure that you live in that. I mean, because, listen, you can live by the sword, right, and die by it as well. So I don't know that you live in that each week, but I think they're becoming more confident that we can – it doesn't matter who we play. If you have to go to it, it's a great change-up. And I'll say for offenses trying to prepare, when you know a team is going to live in something, they're going to play a certain defense 80% of the time, you feel much more comfortable than when you get into some teams that are giving you a big mix of a lot of things, And so Romeo Crennel, who's the defensive coordinator for Houston, does a great job. But this was the old Belichick style. They give you, a 3-4 in the first half, a 4-3 in the second half, completely different coverage on the back end. They'll rush 3, drop 8. They'll bring 6, drop. So you really never can catch a consistent movement. I think that's where the Colts are going to on defense, is where you don't have to live in something. You can give them enough, and you can sprinkle them enough of different looks where you really confuse offenses and help yourself in a big way. Because like you said, you never know, man. Third down, you give them something different. It's hard to adapt on offense. That's not an easy thing to do. So I love what Eberflus is doing on that side of the ball and giving those guys some confidence in it.
All right, the question I got to ask every week, what happened with Hebron Christian Academy this weekend?
Big win, 21-7, first time in history. Beat Commerce High School, a big win. So we're number one in our sub-region right now. So we win this week, we'll be playing in the region championship.
Man, that's your own version of a one-handed toe tap and catch in the end zone, isn't it?
You know it, baby. You know it. Big
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll stay on Big Joe for you. We'll talk to you next week.
We want
right?
championship rings if it comes to fruition.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get you a special one, Big Joe.
I better know how he'll present it to you, too, Joe. All right, Jeff, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thanks so much.
See you, fellas. Appreciate it.